How you doing? How you doing? And how you doing, ladies and gentlemen? It's your boy Petty, and I appreciate you stopping by today. And we're back for a little bit of Genshin news, talk about some stuff that's coming in 1.4 and some stuff that's definitely not coming in 1.4. But real quick, before we get into the video, if I could ask you guys to be my John Connors, help me defeat the machines, show the machines you mean business, and join the resistance. But any help that we can get really helps out smaller channels, so I really appreciate all the love and support that we get. You guys are killing it. You guys are killing it. So thank you so much for all that you guys do, and we'll keep trying to do what we do. Speaking of things that, we're doing what we're doing, gonna be doing some live streaming again of Valheim. I think we're going like 3 or 4 days strong of streaming at least an hour plus every night on the channel. I'm having a lot of fun doing that. I'm going to work in some other games into doing that, but for right now, we are still all in on Valheim. That game is so much fun, and if you're not sure why, tonight would be a pretty good reason to check in. We should be going for and killing the Elder, which is the second boss in the game. We had a little bit of a mix-up and had to restart our whole server because someone was dumb and spawned a lot of birds. Wasn't me. That man also killed all my pigs. It was a tough time. Okay, shout out to Fumbles, the destroyer of worlds. But we're here to take a look and talk about a little bit of Genshin, so let's go ahead and get into that. So essentially, one of the things that I want to focus on for the video is that we're hearing a lot of stuff now because the beta has started in China for 1.4, that it is confirmed that INAZUMA is not coming in 1.4. I had my doubts about that pretty strongly, and every time we talk about anything that isn't officially released, take it all with a grain of salt. But what we're hearing now is that an area called the Chasm will be released, and it's actually an area that already exists in game, and it's kind of like it's marked on the map. Actually, let me see. I think I have a yeah, there we nope, there we go. So this is where the Chasm is on the map and everything. It's supposed to be a mining area that had to be shut down due to dangers in the area. So it's very likely that we'll see another situation, like the mountain, where it's content. It definitely counts as content. But I think with most people, when the game launched and there was all this promise of all these other continents coming out, not having any more real lands be added in the first 6 to 8 months of the game, it's a little bit of a spicy move, dog. It's a little bit of a spicy move. If there's supposed to be so many kingdoms, but it's not until like your first year that you actually add a new kingdom, it's not going to establish a whole lot of faith with the player base. It's not good for retention, guys. Even if you eventually add 8-9 kingdoms, but it's 5 years later, yeah, the small percentage of the community that sticks through and plays the game is really going to enjoy that. New players that come in and have all that content are going to be really happy. But you're probably not getting a lot of the people that you lost along the way there. So, interesting choices with your development cycle. I'm personally not that wowed about the Chasm and, coming back and focusing on that for 1.4. I'm interested in a whole new area, not just adding another little section of the map. And that's what we've seen with 2 content updates. So this news doesn't come as a huge surprise to me. But again, we'll see what they do. I think this one will be interesting. It's likely that we'll probably see another event happen towards the end of 1.3 that might potentially build up into this. Now, I don't think it will be anything along the scales of like the Amber event with all of the meteorites and everything, because again, that didn't even really tie into the mountain too much. Anyway, my name's Petty, y'all. Do you expect me to not take shots about stuff like that? You're tuning into the wrong channel if you are. I'm sorry. So I don't think we'll see an event like that, but that event really wasn't to build up the mountain being released. We just kind of all falsely assumed that all of that was then leading into Dragonspine, but that's not what we actually saw. So I don't know. I don't know what'll happen with the Chasm, if it's going to be really, tied into story going on right now, or if it's going to have its own weird little thing. Who knows? Who knows? Maybe we'll get to see Albedo again, and he'll be down there for some reason. Wouldn't make a lot of sense. I'd expect them to use this opportunity to expand on some more leeway characters, since Dragonspine was in Mondstadt, so it kind of, was cool that we got a deeper dive into more Mondstadt characters with that, so I would like them to do the same with Chasm, but yeah, I'm not super hyped about that in any shape, way, or form. Oh. So that means we're definitely not seeing INAZUMA anytime soon. And I've been on the boat that we're not seeing INAZUMA or Ayaka until 1.6. Basically, since the beginning, since we started talking about stuff. But it's very difficult because right now we've reached the end of the original roadmap made by MiHoYo, and we have yet to receive another roadmap of where their plans are and where to go from here. So I don't know if they're not doing that yet because they're trying to keep things close to the chest, whether or not they haven't made any real hard decisions and they don't want to overcommit to anything, so they want to leave things more up in the air. Not really sure. But I don't know. As it stands right now, I'm not terribly surprised. Now, there are things, and it's actually mentioned here in this article, which is one of the reasons I wanted to have this one pulled up while we talked about all of this, was that there's rumor that INAZUMA was meant to be here, that idea has somehow changed or pivoted, and MiHoYo has decided to do the Chasm instead. I don't agree with that. I don't think that's true. I think the plan was always for 1.4 to be the Chasm, because it would make no sense whatsoever to open up a new section of the map, give everybody a whole new continent, and then also go back to one of the old zones and be like, "Oh, hey guys, you wanna go play in some mines over here?" No, that doesn't make a lot of sense. So I think that was always the case, and I think that I don't know, maybe the rumor mill is trying to make themselves feel important, or tell themselves that they were secretly right. They're being the QAnon of the community right now, essentially. Like, no, INAZUMA was coming, but we just got it right, so they changed it. I don't think so, bro. It seems highly unlikely to me by all stretch of the means. But, you do you, boo. Think whatever you want to think. That's what we all do anyways. But we'll see. And there's some other stuff in the article and everything about some things that could be coming out. And they go on to talk about Ayaka and Rosaria. I don't think there's a chance we'll be seeing any of these guys in 1.4. Maybe Mimi, which is a Hydro user that they're potentially adding. When we've gone through, and they might have a thing of her here. No. But we've looked at the stuff before where they show like a couple of character designs and everything, and we see some people that have been in the game once or twice with little baby cameos, but we really don't know much about them yet or any real backstory. And then some people we haven't seen at all yet. Mimi was one of the two smaller people that look like they're from Leeway. I want to say that they work somewhere, maybe the tavern. I don't know. I just know there's two smaller characters, think Klee size, but both look very different. One's a Hydro user, and the other one's supposed to be the first Dendro user. Will we see them in 1.4? It's a possibility, because I think that they're going to save some of the hittier ones for 1.6 with Ayaka. I don't know if they'll sit on sit on Rosaria until 1.5. It kind of depends to me how they have plans for the story, because Rosaria was just recently introduced to the story. I don't know how much she's going to still participate in it going forward. So we'll kind of have to see how storyline stuff progresses before I'll have any stronger guesses of her. But in my mind, it makes a little bit of sense that they might hold Rosaria for 1.5. That way they have a little bit of extra safety padding to kind of buy them a little bit of time until 1.6 and the new region and Ayaka and all that stuff. And even again, like we said in one of the last videos that Ayaka came up, don't expect her to be at the very launch of 1.6 either. I would expect her to be later in that 1.6 cycle. But we'll see. We'll see how that actually shakes out. But there's some other interesting stuff that is definitely mentioned in here. Some of the festivals that are supposed to be coming up, we're supposed to be getting some Fall Guy-esque mini games. That sounds like memes. And it goes on to notate one of them you're popping balloons. One of them is basically Simon Says or music memory rhythm guy or rhythm memory game. There we go. Those are words that sound like an adult said them together. And then third one is cliff diving. You're going for like rings and stuff like that. And one thing that we did not touch on in our video on changing world level fixes nothing. They are reportedly talking about changing the condensed resin cap from 3 to 5. And I was aware of that when I made that video, but that is that is an even smaller baby band-aid compared to everything else that they've done. So yeah, no, these two things together, I still 100% say they are not doing enough to address the resin issue and player burnout, and that they are going to continue seeing that until they make things more engaging. Now, I don't know if we have enough time to really start getting into it, because I don't want this to be a 20-minute long video. But there's a lot of, we'll show some of the stuff right here, but there's a lot of rumors going on that there's going to be new things added for artifacts in 1.4 that might be leveling them up, that might be adding stats to them, that might speed up the leveling process and allow you to skip things, or it might be a whole new progression system for artifacts and weapons entirely. There's a mention of one phase, or essentially phases, and I'm hesitant to talk about this stuff in any seriousness until we start getting a little bit more information on it. I would love to see what direction that this is going in, but I don't think that, this either is going to, fix the resin issue. It might help people with domain grinding, depending on how this system is deployed and what kind of mechanics they have baked into it. But this could be a really good thing, or this could be, a bit of a sleight of hand. Like, ooh, look at the pretty cool things you can do with artifacts. Ignore all these other issues we're not fixing, but ooh, you can do this to an artifact now. So hopefully it's really meaningful, and it's something that you can obtain and doesn't, fall to the same issues as the resin system. And, oh, cool, we have another system that we can barely use. Yay! I don't know. We'll see. I'll keep an eye on stuff regarding the artifact stuff in 1.4 and see if we get anything that I feel is good enough to really dig into it. But just out of everything we've talked about today, put the heaviest asterisks on this in your mind and try to have no expectations on it until we see what they're actually doing. Because it could be interesting if they go several ways with it, but we'll wait till we have a little bit more information so that we're not just, using our imagination. Ryan Reynolds, I definitely can't pay you to be in this video. Get out of here. Get out of here. But alright guys, we're going to go ahead and call it there. Probably going to go live somewhere around like 8, 9 o'clock tonight on YouTube. Should be able to get this video out at least an hour or so beforehand. And also, if you are one of the people that did not get any notifications for the last couple of videos I've done on Valheim, definitely, let me know. And let me know in the comments on those videos that you didn't get them. Because, since I started my channel, I haven't had a video pull like 30 views in 12 hours. That, I want to cry myself to sleep. But it's, when we do something new like that even breaks away from how we would cover new mobile games and do our first look videos and everything like that, I think trying to do stuff on the new game just isn't getting recommended at all. So if you guys could check that out for me, I'd really appreciate it. Other than that, we'll definitely be, still doing Genshin videos as well as Pepper and some other stuff in there. So thank you guys so much for stopping by. I appreciate them faces. And you have to catch your boy in the next one because we're out of here. Deuces.